Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Vox Lux. Didn't really hear a lot about it. I don't even know how it ended up on my list, probably because Natalie Portman is in it, and Jude is also in it. IMDb gave it a 6.2 with 3,554 people reviewing it. And essentially it's about some pop star that overcomes some major tragedy to become a celebrity of some sort. That's all I really know. I don't know anything else. She looks kind of different in the picture that you see for Natalie Portman. So I'll get into it a little bit. Hour and 54 minutes, but I'll check it out and see what it's really about and tell you a better synopsis than what I just gave you, and then tell you what I'm thinking about it. So stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Vox Lux. We're at the 52-minute, 56-second mark. And I tell you what, right from the beginning, the opening scene, I shouldn't say that, the opening scene, and then the opening credits, and the music that's played during it is chilling. I mean, it is very creepy and chilling. It's just so, it grabs you right from the beginning. It's haunting almost. You have to check it out. So the major tragedy happens right in the beginning, so I'll let you know. It's a school shooting that she survives. She's in it. She does get shot. And because of that school shooting and a memorial, she sings a song at the memorial, and that song gets nationally recognized, and that starts her stardom. And then the whole first part of this movie is her as a 13-year-old and growing into the pop star that she becomes until 2017 is where I'm about to enter now. But it's showing the rise of her career, and Jude is her manager. She's very tight with her sister. Her sister is with her for the beginning of all of this. They're inseparable, and that's really what's going on here. But I mean, it's dark though. So it's really dark in terms of obviously the opening scenes and the prelude to all of this is, a major tragedy, which is going to set up darkness. But then the rest of the movie is really kind of has that undertone of dark. Even though they're making music videos and singing songs and stuff like that, it just seems, you can sense it. I think they did a really good job of making it like that. I mean, the film's a little darker, you know what I mean, just from a lighting standpoint, that helps. But just the way that they have set everything up here, I think it's pretty interesting. And then throwing on top of it, William Dafoe is narrating it. So imagine what that does to a film like this. So you hear his voice and the way he speaks and this darkness that's overcoming this entire movie, and he's part of it. So that's where we are. So it's definitely not an uplifting movie at this point. Very interesting. We have not seen Natalie Portman yet, so she's probably going to be the older pop singer, and I think we're going to get into that right now. We'll see where it goes. Very interesting. What they decided to do. It's creative for sure, and I like how they make you feel darkness, for lack of a better term. I know I'm repeating myself, but without really presenting it. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, I'll get back into it a little bit more. We'll see where it goes from here. We got an hour and 2 minutes left, but so far pretty cool. I think I like. It's neat. Anyway, alright, enough of me. I'm going to get back into it. I'll check back in if anything interesting happens, or I'll just tell you what I think at the end, alright? So stick around. Now you have a better idea what it's about anyway. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Vox Lux. It's pretty neat. I think this is neat. The credits are actually rolling. You can't hear it. They're not playing anything. No sounds or anything. So that's one interesting thing. So I don't like this film at all. I think the first, when did I check in? 52 minutes, something like that. The first 52 minutes of this film were pretty cool. Again, I liked. I mean, they weren't. I mean, it's a tragedy, and you don't like to see that. Don't get me wrong, but the way that they did the film in the first hour, I thought it was really interesting and creative, and really made you feel what was going on in the movie, and I talked about that, and I thought that was fantastic. So my advice to you is, right there at that check-in, when I checked in, just stop the movie, write your own ending. Those of you who are interested in movies and like this kind of stuff, that's my recommendation. I would stop it right there and then, boom, write my own ending, and then live with that, because I think they blew it from that point on. They show this whole, leading up, the whole prologue or whatever of how she starts to become a star, and it's very interesting. And then they fast forward, of course, and this is when Natalie Portman comes in. She's the older. Celeste is the name of her character in all this, of the pop star. And so now Celeste, grows up from where she was, 13 and 14, to now, I guess maybe 17 years later. So, so you don't see all of that, and it just jumps right to that point. And they kind of do it in chapters. So the first two chapters were interesting. They move throughout, whatever. But then they jump into this chapter when she's 17 years later, and she's made it or whatever. And that chapter, the whole scene takes place in one day, and it's just the day leading into her show at night. There's a terrorist attack, and the people who are the terrorists wear a mask from her video. So that's thrown into this, and she has to do some press conferences, whatever, some roundtables, and then she has to go to the show. And it shows about her stress level and dealing with all of this. That's what really that scene is all about. But they've spent a lot of time. But it's only that day we find out that she has a daughter, and she doesn't really take care of her. Her sister does, who she's the one who watches her mainly. But whatever, it's okay. It's kind of a different whole story in a sense, which I get, which they're trying to do. And it shows the struggles of somebody who has all these pressures on them, and drugs, and has a major breakdown right before the show. Okay, that's the end of that chapter. They go to the final chapter, and it's just her singing. She does a show, and her daughter and sister are in the crowd, and then they throw in this lame thing at the end. William Dafoe, no offense to him, narrates the final piece of it. Like, I guess this is this is how she really became a star kind of thing. And it's just, I don't know. It's off-putting for me. Whatever. And that's the end of the movie. Then the credits roll, and there's nothing. So, so one thing really quick to mention, the young Celeste, the girl who was playing the up-and-coming pop star. Then, as we transition into she's grown up and Natalie Portman becomes Celeste, the daughter is the girl who played Celeste at a young age. So, save some money on an actress there. I get it, they want her to kind of look like she did, but it's exactly the same because it's the same girl who played Celeste is now playing Aberdeen, I think her name was, which is Natalie Portman's Celeste character's daughter 17 years later. It really serves no purpose, that whole scene, and then the whole final scene. It really lacks, it was so interesting in the beginning, and it just lacks continuity, I think. It breaks it into 3 different kinds of stories. The third one isn't even a story. The finale is just a music video, is all it is, with slight narration at the end to make it somewhat interesting. But that's it. The middle story is just how her life has become not so great as a pop star. But the whole first story, it's all there. They just, I don't know, did the writer quit? Did the director quit? Or producer quit at some point? And they decided to take it in a different direction? I don't know. It's a shame, because watching the first 50 minutes is pretty cool, like I said, and then it just goes downhill from there. I don't know what to say. Check it out. I think you should check it out for that beginning piece, because really very chilling, and whoever did that part, the producer, director, I don't know, the writer, and the guy who does all the music, fantastic. But then after that, it seems like they gave the reins to somebody else, and I don't know, it flopped. And then they gave the reins to somebody else, and that flopped. I don't know. You know what I mean? And I'm not even spoiling anything, because there's nothing to spoil. Williams Dafoe narration at the end is the only thing that I won't spoil for you, but who cares? And that's it. That's all I got for you. I don't want to belabor it anymore. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you think. If you do decide to watch it, that's okay. I mean, I think it's, like I said, it's worth it for the first 50 minutes. And then you have to see the train wreck that it becomes after that. But if you do, leave me some comments. Love to hear your thoughts on this one. Maybe you caught something better and you liked it after that part, or whatever. Love to hear from you. But thanks for tuning in. If you stayed with me this long, like my channel, subscribe, all that stuff. But tune in next time for another movie review at Kimmel's Irish Pub.